This is my pseudoscientific take on ADHD. I think that ADHD is caused from having a childhood and where you had to use excessive amounts of coping mechanisms in order to stay emotionally regulated for so long that your brain's developmental period was impacted because you overused those coping mechanisms, which then actually changed the structure of your brain. It's like if you've ever seen like those apples where they like put like a plastic case around it and then the apple like grows into a square because that's what the case is, right? Your coping strategies as a child are like that plastic square. And I actually have some personal recollection of this. Like when I was a kid, if I was super stressed out about something, I would just lie about forgetting it. And I remember there being this distinct time in my life where I knew that I was lying about it and I actually did remember. And then I slowly transitioned, like somewhere between 2 or 3 years, I started actually forgetting like a lot of shit, like stuff that I would never forget. And that's a small example, of course, but I think on a larger scale, this is what is happening to people with ADHD. They're not able to stay present. They're not able to stay focused because remaining in the present required too much stress for them to experience at a young age. And so they learn to tap out, they learn to be forgetful until the structure of their brain was functionally impacted. Now, the reason that I believe this over some sort of biological argument is because ADHD is so emotional. Like I can feel that there's something not quite right with my brain. I can feel that I'm not quite present. And sometimes like during therapy or meditation, I really connect to myself for just a brief moment and I get scared because I feel like I've been sleeping my entire life and I just woke up out of a coma and suddenly I'm sentient and suddenly I'm like a normal person and I don't have any of these problems. And then it fades in like 30 seconds to a minute. To me, ADHD is like this dissociative condition where there's this like thick veil that's like put over you and your experience and kind of dims everything and makes everything abstracted and like disconnected. And so the reason that it's like hard to do simple things like the dishes is because you're not actually thinking about the present reality of doing the dishes. You have this like abstracted narrative of how the dishes are going to feel that you're constantly like having this emotional resistance to. Like in reality, the dishes will take you literally 5 to 10 minutes, but it seems so much more painful in your head until you actually do the thing, which is why meditation and therapy is so effective for ADHD. Like meditation has changed my entire outlook on this condition because I've been able to get over that feeling. I've been able to get over that executive dysfunction where I want to do something, but I physically can't because of the feeling inside my body. I've been able to get over that feeling by just doing shit and being present. But that's been really hard. That's taken like a lot of emotional work and therapy and meditation and discovering more about myself and these negative coping mechanisms that I've still hung on to after all these years. Obviously though, like it's the structure of your brain, so you can't just fully overcome it in a split second like that and just wake up and be like, oh, I don't have ADHD anymore. But piece by piece, I do think you can heal the condition and eventually your brain. The other reason why I feel like this is true is because it's validating. It's a deeply validating like thought or idea and not in like some wishy-washy sense like, oh, it just makes me feel good to think that I am this thing that I'm not. It feels validating in the way that it like makes sense. Like it tracks in almost every part of how I imagine, remember my childhood and feel about this condition. Like it speaks to my intuition and my truth so strongly. Versus just like, oh yeah, it's this like genetic developmental disorder with nothing underlying. Science is so complex and genetics has become like this religious belief where we just like write it off as like this thing when we really don't know what's going on. Like there's so many different layers to science. You can't just wave your hand and say, genetics, magic genetics happening, mechanical, biological system happening. I don't know. That's all I've got. That's my pseudoscientific ADHD take. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to hear more about similar lines of thought or psychologists who are actually investigating this, I think I remember Gabor Mate talking about this once. His view might be a little different than mine, but he also will cite a lot more sources and talk about it from a much more scientific perspective because he's a psychologist. I think he's got his like own idea of like how trauma works and how trauma is involved with ADHD. That's all I've got for you guys. Love you. Take care.